Hi everyone. I wanted to do a video on replacing a fuel filter on my 2012 Victory Cross Country. The mileage on the bike is 32,000, and they recommend that you replace the fuel filter at 30,000 miles. I haven't had any problem with the bike. She runs perfect. I've heard pros and cons about it. Some people have gone 25,000 miles or so and had trouble already, and some people tell me that they've had no problems at all and they've got over 60,000 miles on the bike. But I do a lot of long distance riding, so I don't want to be somewhere 500 miles from home and have trouble with a fuel filter. So I'm going to replace it. I'm going to change it out. I didn't do a video on removing the seat and the gas tank because there's enough videos out there where, you know, if you needed to know how to do that, you can go to one of the other videos. There's different ways that some people remove a gas tank. Some people remove the fuel line at the nipple coming off the bottom of the tank. Some of them pull it off at the nipple that goes into the throttle body. I do that. I take it off there only because it's easier to get at as far as I'm concerned. And right here. And that's just the way that I do it. But, you know, I don't know that there's any right or wrong way. It's just my way. I'm not a professional mechanic on motorcycles. I want to tell you that up front. This is going to be a learning experience for me to replace this fuel filter. Tank's over here upside down. I've removed all the bolts already. They're 8mm bolts. I have new filters, new seal, new bolts and everything for the thing. I just like to give a shout out to Coastal Victory down in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. I have searched high and low all over the Northeast for a filter for this thing, and I was told the same everywhere. The nationwide back order on the filters until the middle of December sometime. And I just didn't want to wait, so I called everywhere, couldn't get anywhere, no one had one. I finally wound up calling Coastal Victory. I've dealt with them before on different things, and they've always had what I wanted. So I just wanted to give them a shout out and let you know that you know, if they don't have it, you're in trouble. That's all I can tell you. But anyways, I got the bolts out. Like I said, they're all 8mm bolts. And we're going to see what it's like to get this fuel filter out of here. I've got this little plastic prying tool that I made, actually. There it is. Okay. It wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. But there it is. And I would say the filter, it's hard to say, only because they're going to turn color anyway just from being in the gas. Got to pull this little plug out here, and before you can pull the filter out, or the whole pump assembly. And there it is. So we're going to get this apart, replace it, let some of the gas drain out of it here if I can. And I kind of want to try and get all that gas out of there if I can, only because I also want to do a little experiment as to how much this tank will actually hold in fuel. But anyways, that's where I'm going to go with that. Let me take this over to the other bench and see what I can do with it. Now I'm supposed to take off this little clip right here and then slide this out of the this, I guess it's like a brace or something. So we're gonna give it a shot and see what we have. The new one comes with the little clip that you see right here. Make sure what I got. Yep, there's the little clip right there. You don't want to lose that. And there's the filter. Okay, so let's see. They say you don't want to break this little stud that this thing is connected to. I'm just trying to figure out how to get that off. Looks like if you pry it a little bit, it just... I hope this is all coming out on the camera here. But it's working, it's coming off. Okay, there it is. There's the little clip. That's the old one. Let's not get them mixed up. We'll put that over here on the side. Now you're supposed to pry that out. It looks to me like that doesn't want to come out very easily. Just gently work it back and forth. It is coming out little by little. Yeah, it's coming. There it is. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now it's just a question of putting on the new one and trying to get it back in the tank. Yeah, that's a job to push that back on there again. That's for sure. There it is. It's going little by little. No one ever said if there was an easy way to do this, but come on. Looks like it might be in all the way. more that time. It doesn't go in easy, I will tell you that. I got 99%. It couldn't be more than an ounce of fuel in there left. But I got all of it out, pretty much. So there's I want to make sure that this gets cleaned up before I go putting that back in again. They don't say anything in the manual about putting any kind of a, you know, like a little bit of oil or grease or anything like that on it. I'm not gonna. So anyways, there's a baffle, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's not really a baffle. It's, I guess, it's way inside the tank, and the fuel filter has to go up inside of here and down into this pocket. So you have to kind of make sure that it gets into the proper location. I gotta hook up the connector. Which, I guess I had it right to begin with. There it is there. Okay. Now, this has to go in. Has to go to the back of the tank. And I want to make sure the seal is in place. Okay. And you gotta push that hose, there it is, back in again. And that's all there is to it, really. We'll get out the new bolts here, and start putting those in. And then they've got to be torqued in a star-shaped pattern. And they give you, in the manual, they give you a little diagram of how you should tighten up the bolts. And these are a little different bolts than the ones that came out of it. But anyway, that's the ones that I'm putting back in are a lot smaller. They look like they might be a 6mm. Yeah. Okay. And you don't want to tighten those all up yet. Only because you got to tighten them up in a star-shaped pattern. But let me get these bolts out of here. Them out. Which I really don't think it's that bad a job. It's just a little time consuming, but if you take your time, it's not that bad. Geez, I got the right number of bolts. I'm just going to bring these down to where they're touching, and I'm not going to torque them yet. I'm not going to worry too much about the star shape pattern until I start torquing them, which should be right now. I'm trying to remember what the book said to torque them to. I have the CD, and then I just copy the pages that I want. Here's the pattern they give you, and it says here to torque it in 3 steps to 43 inch-pounds. Let's That's 40 to 43 inch-pounds. So the pattern they give you is starting with this one here. And we start now, we'll get it down to 43 inch-pounds. I don't like these bolts. These new bolts are... That's one. That's 2. 9 and 10. Okay. That should... Gas tank's all finished, the filter's in it, I got the lines all back on it, it's ready to go back on the bike. Okay, we're going to put the gas tank back on it. I figured I'd let you see how that goes on. Very, very simply. Just got to get everything lined up and okay. I just got to get that plug hooked up. And that's really all there is to it. Usually shove a block underneath it just to give you some room. There's that little plug. And there. All snapped together. And everything looks good. Okay, the tank is on. All you gotta do is put those rubber grommets in and your bolts, tighten that up. Really not much to it. Make sure your lines are loose and not binding on anything. Okay. That's done. Tank's back on it, except got to be finished hooking up fuel lines, and want to check and make sure that there's nothing binding anywhere. Make sure you didn't pinch something. Hook these lines back up again. Okay, the only thing I have left to do is to hook up the ground strap. Now is to hook up gas line, which is right there. There it is, it just clicked on. I loosened this up just so I could get my hand in there. That's no big deal, there's only 4 screws that hold it on. That's your idle air control is right here. Okay, that appears to be all set. Now I'll hook that back up again, put the 4 screws back in it. Okay, everything is back together again. Filters in, check for leaks, no leaks. So let's see if she fires up. And there we go. Sounds good. Alrighty. Okay, so that's pretty much all of it. filters in, new air filters in. From there, it's over the winter, get other things done on it. So I hope this helped. Sorry for the camera angles at times. It's pretty hard to see what you're doing when the camera's attached to your forehead. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Alrighty, I hope it helps. Bye-bye.